Hi, let me introduce you to a complete new way of result-driven lead generation as a service for B2B companies. But first, let's have a look at the challenges of traditional lead generation. Every company that sells something, a product or a service, follow a similar process for their marketing and sales. It all starts with the market. You want to sell something to a specific market. Well, that means they must know you. You would like to reach out to them. That's the first step. Then the next step is, of course, to get leads from this market, to have their interest, that they like you, and then to convert them into a client, you need their trust, that they believe that you have the right solution for them. And then you would like to keep these customers as long as possible, because the longer you keep customers, that means you have a very high lifetime value, what means you have good profits. However, often you see a lot of friction and leaks in this process. Friction means, as an example, people visit your website, but they never become a lead. So that means the higher the friction, the more leakage you have of each stage. And you can see this here in this image on the bottom, that most people actually never do what you want them to do. So as an example, if people are a lead, then only a small portion of these leads become your clients, right? So that means there is a large group of qualified leads that never become client, and so forth. So let's have a look at the common funnel flow issues, what we find. The first is a mismatch in the audience targeting. That means if you fail to target the right audience, then the whole funnel will not flow very smoothly. The next thing is there a lack of follow-up. So if you not follow up on different stages, then the leakage will be extremely high. Then the third thing is a distinction between the marketing and the sales department, and that there are different disciplines, what can cause a poor sales handover process. Then the next thing is insufficient prospect nurturing. What I mean by that, many B2B sales cycles, they run over a longer time, and to engage over a longer time is a challenge for many companies. So if you don't do that, you lose interest. And to engage prospects over a longer time, you need relevant content. However, what you see often is generic messages, generic content, and nowadays that doesn't work, not anymore, sorry. So the importance is a personalization. So poor personalization also does not help to bring you better conversions. The other thing that causes the flow stagnating or not run as smoothly as you wish that it would is fragmentation due to the use of separate tools, different tools for all different things. That makes it also more difficult for the funnel flow to optimize. The other thing is also manual work. That delivers a lot of errors by this. So that all causes inefficiency in the workflow. This inefficiency also comes because of the manual tasks that are performed, and that gives really a challenge. The other thing is, if you cannot measure what's going on, you never know if you do the right thing, what also leads to inefficiencies. You don't know what will be efficient or not if you don't know what is the result, if you don't follow this. And of course, it will impact your budget, and it will negatively impact your budget. So what you need really is a systemized approach that is scalable. And for this, the first thing is integration. So you really like to have your marketing and your sales integrated, and all the different elements working together like a team. This way you can then create sustainable strategy and also achieve long-term growth. This can be done by working with a agentic organization, and I will come back to agentic in a moment, but that really helps you to deliver this predictable and efficiency. It should be also easy to scale by automation. Okay. Introducing LeadEngineAI is a RAAS approach. It's all about the results. But what is result as a service? Like the word already say, you focus on the result instead of the activities and the tools. And you also pay for the result. So you do not pay for the tools and must do many things yourself. You pay for an outcome. And that gives you less risk, of course, and a better focus on your outcome, your business goals. To make this possible, integration is key. So the RAAS really rely on an integrated approach and also from a technology point of view. So one easy to use platform that is fully integrated. And then agentic marketing, and I will come back to that in a moment, helps you to automate with AI agents. And this will increase efficiency drastically. So the other thing is that you work with relevant content in this approach. So it's not only the integration and the tool, but it is also the campaign, the content with relative content, and focus on targeting campaigns to target the right target audience. If you focus on measurable result instead of separate activities, then you're much better working on getting your goals. Because it's result oriented. You need, of course, to measure every step that is used to have a good overview of what's going on. And I have an example for that a little bit later on in this presentation. So you need to monitor the leads accurately to improve conversions. This whole RAAS approach is quickly to implement, so you can have a fast setup. And the reason why is because it's using pre-built elements. So you just put these pre-built elements together, and that makes it possible to do a fast onboarding, getting started quickly, and see results quickly. So let's have an example how that look like in real life. So the first step is that you have an advertising or post on social media or other forms of traffic coming to your opt-in page. And in this opt-in page, we generate leads. The next step is then to build authority by a special authority section in the system. And what happens then is this authority section, you see here a video, the page expands to show the rest of the content and immediately start also follow-up email sequences. Then the next step after this is to book a meeting and to filter the people. In other words, to qualify them if we speak to the right people. We don't want to waste time not talking to our ideal clients. And again, to make this step happen, we support it by email sequence. Then lastly, we build more trust and confidence by the confirmation area, where we give a lot of value already up front of the meeting. And finally, we have a meeting. So this is a high ticket example. And also there you see that there is a follow-up process, and this whole process is automated. You see some results here, and this campaign delivered over 1,000 qualified leads. So to have some more insights in this campaign is what you see here, that there is a consistent delivery of leads, 75 leads per month, and almost 80% of these leads are also meeting the requirements of the qualification criteria of the company. So that is pretty high. And then we see also that the return on the advertising spend is 5.9. In other words, €1 spent on advertising delivers almost €6 in return in revenue, what is pretty neat. The other thing what we see here is that it has also a huge impact on your branding, because there are over 1 million impressions. That means people see your brand, and that help, of course, to make this more successful. So what are the key components of LeadEngineAI in a result as a service model? Well, I said something before about this agentic marketing. And agentic marketing empowers B2B organizations to operate with the precision and responsiveness of a human, like a colleague, but then with the speed and also scalability of AI. So what does that mean? What kind of key benefits do we receive out of this? First of all, a continuous personalization. And we can do this at scale. So it saves us a lot of time to do that. The other thing is it works 24/7 and very fast. So it goes on and on all the time, and that makes it very efficient. Then the next thing, it's all driven by data. It learns from data, it sees the data, and it responds on the data, like also behavior that the prospects are doing. Of course, it reduces the manual workload drastically by all this automation. So you can focus on the strategy and the creativity, what are the fun things in the marketing game. And finally, we have a scalable account-based marketing solution, including the nurturing, what is pretty awesome. So it's a full funnel system that we use as a central platform to enable this whole process. And it's integrating all the different elements needed to make this possible. By doing so, it's also analyzing data, collecting data, and this gaining a lot of valuable insights, not only about your leads, but about the market and also what works and what doesn't work. So then the next thing is lead management is completely optimized this way. It also means that LeadEngine is doing the work. It's taking care of the campaigns, content and outreach from the first contact up to loyalty. And it's working with targeted campaigns. So you can set up different campaigns for different target areas, and it makes it specific for this group of people. So they have their specific own approach. That means relevant and personal content throughout the different stages. And of course, the outreach and follow-up completely personalized and automated. The next thing is monitoring and optimization, because we like to see how things go so we can optimize it. And we doing this also by dashboards, you will see this a little bit later also, and help by a coaching model to have continuous insight and guidance how we can optimize for better results. Let's do a little deep dive in the features that make this really a different approach. And that's Agentic AI. And Agentic AI take care of personalization, lead scoring, automatic follow-up. It's AI driven and it responds on the behavior of people. So what I like to show you is that we work with 3 different workflows. The first workflow is an enrichment process. The second one is focusing on your ideal clients. And the third one is personalization. The first step in this process is that a lead enter your world. And this can be in different ways, by working with lead magnets or whatever you offer, maybe a small training, other ways, or you already have leads in your database. It doesn't matter. So we start with the lead and then the agentic marketing process starts. And the first step is to do a deep lead research. So we learn about the lead. So we have knowledge about the lead, all kinds of aspects like the lead triggers, the gains, the pains, etc. What kind of person is this? Then the second thing is the company knowledge. So where this person works, what kind of company are we dealing with? Is it big or small, and what kind of products and services are they bringing to market? And then finally, insights in their industry. So what is important in this industry? What are the trends? What are the challenges? And this gives us a very rich data set of information that we can use to be successful. Then the next step is to reach out and to check if this lead is a good fit. So if this is a good fit for our business. And we work with a threshold of 60%, and we look at all these different things like firmographics, demographics, decision-making unit and role. When it is a good fit, then we progress it. Otherwise, it will be disqualified by the system. So that means we only work with our ideal audience, what makes us much more successful. Then the next step is to create smart messaging. And what I mean by that is that it's personalized, first of all, but it's personalized on 3 levels. So it looks at the person itself, what kind of person is it, what kind of products and services do we like to promote or bring to market, and the last thing also, in what lead stage is this person? Is it in the beginning, like reach? Is it in an activation stage, conversion stage, or is it an engagement stage? And then finally, the campaign take care of sending the messages to the prospect, or to the lead. So the outreach is also organized, and all these steps what I just explained are performed by agents, by the Agentic marketing system. So then we can see real-time dashboards and reports to monitor how all these things are working out for us. And that gives us the opportunity also to do quick adjustments and to give feedback to the system and to the agents. And that really supports our strategic marketing process. An example how that look like. Here we see such a simple system, and the dots that you see moving is people from, you see LinkedIn, you see Facebook, you see Instagram, and they come to this first entry page, and then you see how they progress through these different stages. And this one is a high ticket funnel, so we have online meeting, can be physical meetings or online meeting as a result out of this. Then the other example you see here, that is a little bit more longer process, and that's done by e-commerce. That means we take the sale online, there's a shopping cart in the middle, and there are upsells and downsells and so on and so forth. So the whole process is done online. Also the sale is performed online. And you see again that how people flow through these different stages. So by looking at these dashboards, we can optimize the results and work with this in practice. So doing so, it's how it's included is by a weekly optimization session where we look at new content, testing, and to improve these flows. And this way we can really improve the full customer journey. So the focus is always on the full customer journey. Included is strategic coaching and guidance to optimize these things and also to bring this to market the best way that we can achieve to meet your goals. The whole purpose is, I come back to this result focus. So it's all about measurable results, what mean higher conversions and lower cost per lead and more revenue. And this is actually what we all the time want to achieve with a also high return on our investment, and that we also know what it is. As an example, how that look like, here you see another business case, similar process of what you've seen before, and on the left bottom you see some results. So here we spent only a little on advertising, almost like 7,000 euros in this matter, and the return on advertising spend was 4.0, what is quite okay. But then something very interesting happened, because the follow-up sales after that we had first sales from our packages was much more higher and very interesting. So the upsell after the first sale, it's pure profit, and that is also a spin-off that you see multiple times by introducing these kind of systems. So the LeadEngineAI, it comes in different packages. We have launch, grow and scale depending on what is the best fit for you. So again, it's an agentic marketing solution, and in this lead engine, there sit the full funnel setup, the content, the workflows, the agentic AI, all of that is delivered. So that is what we deliver in the first place. Then secondly, it doesn't stop there. So the continuous way to support you is by monitoring and optimization. Support also, and scoring and segmentation of the results. And last but not least, the content production goes on and on and on. So this way you will receive quality lead flow, faster sales cycles, and improved lead conversions. So this then finally gives you a scalable process for your acquisition. The components are in there. It's the platform, it's the campaign management, the content creation, and the optimization and coaching. So this comes in these three packages. You can see here exactly what is included in the three packages. Basically, it means how many product market combinations do you like to run and how much of our help is for you needed. Important is to understand that this is a perfect addition to your existing system, to your existing stack. So it's not replacing any of your systems. If you have a CRM, that is super. If you have any system, that is fine. It will run, the lead engine will run in parallel next to your system. You can see it as an additional layer, as you can see it as a colleague that actually works for you, working on these leads alongside of the stack that you have. So it's increasing your effectiveness of everything that you already do. But last not but least is, this is the starting point, right? So the lead engine is the starting point of the whole process. It's focusing on the reaching out to the clients and activating them, bring them up to the level of meetings. The next steps is also that we have sales as in a package like Sales Booster and a Client Retainer. So you can see here how these different approaches work together. So now we discuss about the lead engine, what is the first step of the whole client lifecycle process. And there is also Sales Booster, what really help direct sales teams to optimize their sales efforts, to manage their sales efforts, or to do this in a e-commerce way, online way, to do online sales with sales funnels or web shop or other ways selling online. And finally, the Client Retainer takes care of upsell, cross-sell, and also expanding your lifetime value. And how this impacts is very interesting. So this is a simple example of some calculation. What happens if I only improve 10% of my efforts along these different stages, what we discussed, like reach, act, convert, and engage? 10% is very little. Everybody can do that. It's not so much effort. But if we calculate that, and the point is that we do this simultaneously. So that means these different 10% improvement efforts are happening at the same time for these different elements. So that means we have 10% more leads, we improve the conversion with 10%, we make 10% better content, and for instance we do 10% better follow-up. It's very little, all these things, because if we normally send 10 emails, then now we send 11 emails, right? That's 10% improvement for a follow-up strategy. But you see how that stack up, because when we only improve by 10%, the revenue goes up 1.5 times the starting point, profit almost double, and the cost goes down by 1/3. So that's a really interesting result. Then let's look at the cost and time. It really reduces a lot of time by working with agentic marketing, with Aimflow AI across the whole lifecycle stages. So this you can see here how much cost then is involved in cost reduction. And you can achieve up to around 70% of cost reduction by starting working with such a solution. So I really invite you to book a free walkthrough call. And during this call, we will look at your company to also find the most important gaps in this whole client journey flow. And we give you a full report of this. And this is a free service. So we like to talk to you, understand your business, see where the gaps are, and give you a full report. If you're interested, then we will tell you how an implementation roadmap would look like. However, that is only optional. So it means book this free walkthrough call and get the value out of it because it's free and available for you. In summary, LeadEngine is an integrated approach that combines several strategies for effective B2B lead generation. It offers a fast deployment to see quick results, and it works on a continuous optimization that helps you to drive sustainable growth. So to get started, go to aimfirst.com/abm and book your walkthrough, or click on the button on this page if you see this video on a page. And if you're already not on this page, then visit our LeadEngine page, aimfirst.com/LeadEngine-RAAS. I wish to help you to find the gaps in your lifecycle flow and to be more successful with your business. And I hope to see you on the other side.